This video presents content from Chapter 4 of the book, Sustainable Living and World Peace, from a section entitled PAL Sustainability Conflict Resolution. The following quote is attributed to Ronald Reagan. Peace is not the absence of conflict, it is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. Conflict and disagreement are natural and are always going to happen. Outcomes to conflicts and disagreements could either be positive or negative, and the outcomes depend entirely on how we respond to our conflicts and disagreements. Do we respond with a belief that there is an assured peaceful solution we can achieve to every conflict and disagreement? Do we respond in a way that is sustainable and healthy while working toward peace, or do we respond ignorantly and unsustainably? Conflicts and disagreements should be looked at as opportunities to strengthen relationships and gain a better perspective of those involved, and improve our understanding of situations and relationships. Conflicts and disagreements should never be thought of as ever requiring to have a violent resolution as the ultimate outcome, no matter how difficult or trying a situation becomes. How much money do we waste in foreign conflicts and preparing for a globally catastrophic war that cannot really be fought without imperiling civilization and life as we know it? How much prosperity is lost due to reduced opportunity for trade with embattled countries and countries with governments we are at political or strategic odds with due to inadequate systems for communication and conflict resolution in place? If asked if we would rather have peace or ongoing wars and endless military stockpiling, most rational, logical, and empathetic people would say peace. However, we are so used to having ongoing wars and a continuous military arms escalation that it would almost seem strange to conceive of a world with real peace, almost like it could never happen. Accordingly, an initial step toward world peace is to realize and understand that it can happen and that it is part of our natural progression toward complete sustainability. Our best opportunities to create peaceful and sustainable outcomes will occur when we have trusting relationships, we have a commitment to the well-being of each other, and we have a commitment toward peaceful relationships and resolutions. Maintained positive relationships and assured commitments will create an environment of trust, even if the respective parties may not be considered friends at that time. Proper communication and a willingness to creatively communicate with potential adversaries was emphasized in the last section. However, our current response to conflict is often to take a threatening stance and posture and attempt to intimidate instead of seeking to engage our counterparts in a constructive manner. Additionally, whenever different parties do attempt to communicate about issues of a conflict, they often just end up blaming each other for causing trouble and perpetuating problems. They also end up complaining that the other side cannot be reasoned with, and hope for real progress breaks down while the conflict continues without any foreseeable end. Dialogue to resolve conflicts and disagreements needs to include active listening and a willingness to seek a sympathetic perspective of all parties involved. This will require a great deal of appropriate questioning to help gain insight into others' interests, understand their positions, and understand their behaviors. To aid us in our efforts toward effective problem solving, it will be helpful to think of the words interests and positions in terms that will help us better understand the perspectives of others. Positions can be thought of as what people want, while interests can be thought of as what they need. We can see that nations and peoples of the world have different positions on various issues, and oftentimes the positions of different groups appear to be in conflict with one another. If we were to ask people what their position is on something, they may respond back with a statement that begins with, "I want" or "we want." However, the interests, the needs that people have, are the underlying reason for the positions or people's wants. Active listening, proper dialogue, and empathizing should lead to a better understanding of people's interests, thus creating a better opportunity to solve the underlying causes of a conflict. Something to be attentive to is the fact that the underlying interest or need of a position or want may actually be a human feeling. The importance of human feelings was discussed earlier in the book, and all parties' feelings must be understood when trying to resolve conflicts. Human feelings are very real motivators, and neglecting their importance comes at the expense of progress and meaningful resolution. Feelings such as pride, the need for respect, including self-respect and respect from others, feelings of safety and security, and the feeling that you are in control of your own life and future are all some examples of very important natural feelings that motivate people to do things. It is not natural for people to be denied satisfaction of these feelings. If people and nations are denied satisfaction of these feelings, which are natural needs, we will not be able to create sustainable relationships and peace with them. To find the underlying interest to a position, it will be good to ask why they have that particular position and to use inquiring questions to understand their feelings. We must always search to get at the root cause of any problem and not just treat symptoms or intermediate problems caused by an underlying problem. Although there may be times when parties would need to compromise or accommodate, we should focus on problem solving for resolutions. We should not necessarily have to compromise or accommodate or try to force another party into having to compromise or accommodate. Sustainable solutions to problems should not create the feeling that there were winners or losers in a conflict. There should not be feelings that someone was trying to take advantage of someone else. Realize that all people naturally have pride. We should always try to establish dialogue so we can better understand things from our counterparts' perspectives. Seeing things from their perspectives may help us to generate solutions that they consider satisfactory while remaining true to our interests. We will be able to handle disagreements better if we can gain a better understanding of others' concerns from their points of view. There are many tracks of diplomacy that can be taken which provide opportunities for everyone in every nation, from the leaders down to the individual people, to contribute to world peace and sustainability. No matter who we are or on what level we work on toward world peace and sustainability, we must always realize that relationships are a two-way street or a multi-way street if there are many parties involved, and positive relationships require commitment, trust, and effort by all. Even if we are genuinely trying to create positive change, we may not always be able to control others' immediate responses to our efforts. However, as in many other things in life, you receive back what you give, and we assuredly are receiving back what we currently put into our relationships. In any relationship, if you want respect, you give respect. If you want love, you give love. If you want virtue, you give virtue. If you want freedom, you give freedom. If you want peace, you give peace. You get out of life what you put into it, and you get what you bring to any relationship. If we want peaceful and prosperous relationships, we need to always display these wishes to the world through our words and actions. Even when others appear they are not making sincere efforts toward peace, we should not wait for others to initiate change, and we must ensure that we always bring the good that makes us great in our dealings with any peoples or any nation.